Welcome back everybody to another Pick Your Poison cast. This one a YouTube exclusive, so another shout out to Daniela and her crew for making this whole event happen. But this one is a series that we've actually already casted on stream, but only the first two games. So what we're looking at here is, if you haven't seen it before, check out the YouTube video with Chuptaburger against Nessy, games 1 and 2. This is game 3 of that series. It's tied at 1-1, and this is going to be the deciding game for whoever moves on to the tournament and who ends up being eliminated here in the round of 8. So then, let's dive in here because this is promising to be a very entertaining game. At least as far as I'm concerned, because as you guys know, Golden Swamp, lately my favorite map in this tournament here. So I want to see how these guys do right here and which one is actually going to take the serious victory. Let's start off as we always do with our civilization overviews. On the left side we've got for Nessy, the lower seed, and the underdog in this matchup, the Sicilians, which is a civ that we've seen a few times in the tournament, but actually not as much recently, I don't think. It has a few things going for them, mainly the extra stone start and the possibility to drop dungeons on your enemy, on your eco, everywhere on the map as soon as you reach that feudal age. Dungeons, in case you guys didn't know, are like a castle tower hybrid thingy. It's not terribly strong, but it can also produce units. So it is an interesting building that can throw off the opponent, especially here in our lower elos. Can sometimes have devastating effect if used properly. Other bonuses include faster built castles and town centers, which is of course lovely for, well, getting those up faster, which sometimes can be an issue for people, but also some other interesting bonuses. Just to comment on a few of them. Extra armor for knights in the Imperial Age if you research the Halberg tech. And, also additional bonus out of the farm upgrades. On the other side, for the very well-known, almost famous Chuptaburger, it's the Tatars, another civ that is very popular, and I can definitely see why. Cavalry archers are just so much fun to play with, but the civ has a little bit more than that actually going for itself. First of all, we've got more food that is actually going to be gathered off these herdables here, so that means that they don't actually gather any faster, not like Britons who gather their herdables incredibly fast, but rather that the food source of these herdables just lasts a little bit longer. Other bonuses include the well-known additional damage boost if you're attacking down from uphill, which of course is extra damage for everybody, but especially for the Tatars, who, well, just get that 25% increase there. They also get Thumri and Parthian tactics for free, which is so cool when you're going into cav archers and you don't have to research those expensive tags and can instead get out a couple extra villages or cavalry archers themselves. So definitely cool. Yeah, well-known civ. Can also of course get step lancers, and we haven't actually seen any step lancer play in these tournament casts so far. So wouldn't that be a cool thing for a change here in our YouTube exclusive to finally have some step lancer play going? That's what I would love to see. Now of course this is already the third game in this series for us here, so a high stakes. Whoever wins this one advances, and Chuptaburger has the third seed. Has to feel some pressure of course in this series. Nessy being only the 11th seed, maybe playing a little more free and not so worried about maybe potentially losing this game. Of course, you can only speculate. Some people also don't thrive in those underdog roles, feeling a bit doomed from the start, so it's really all about mindset, after all. So far in this game, Nessy off to a nice little villager lead, a little bit of idle town center time there for Chuptaburger. But both players already having picked up Loom, so in that regard, there's no real difference. Mining camp now blocked, but now dropped on the stone, interestingly. Would you look at that? Nessy about to click up here to Feudal Age, and there they go, getting some nice hits in onto Chuptaburger's scout, although he does a good job of avoiding any more arrow fire, and that's 5 on stone really early, so it really would appear as though Nessy is potentially looking to drop a few of these beautiful, beautiful dungeons there on the opponent. You see right there, 175 stone, 75 wood. So you need some good wood numbers also if you want to get that dungeon production going. All right, this is really early investment onto stone. I'm not sure how many dungeons we're looking at here, but if Chuptaburger is able to scout this, that should alert him to what is going on and what might be coming. He's not found that mining camp just yet, just barely ends up missing those villagers here, so he doesn't know at all how heavily Sicilians have gone for that stone already, and here they come, the villagers forward, even still carrying 2 stakes for the way. Wise decision there, because that's going to be a long march, and I wonder where they're going to be dropping those dungeons. Is this in the deciding matchup here? Nessy with a super interesting cheesy strategy, looking to take the victory. Let's see how good their scouting is. They haven't really seen a lot of the opponent's eco yet. And there we go. Nessy finds out about the town center. Hasn't found the mill, hasn't found the lumber camps. That's of course the second lumber camp, so you gotta worry. Where's the first one here? As we see that first dungeon. Remember, it kind of works like a tower does, being dropped on the secondary woodline of Chuptaburger. And that's going to be, for starters here, first point of pressure. Now let's see how Chupta can adapt. Stable seems to be the answer, of course. Chupta, I don't think, has spotted this dungeon going up just yet, but there's still 400 stone in the bank for Nessy, who's really working with minimal villagers and eco at home. Only 5 on food right now. Can be a bit tricky, so this better work out and do some decent damage here on Chupta. But if he responds well, this is a big investment for the Sicilians that might go to waste. Let's see how it plays out. Dungeon goes up, and here come the arrows. This woodline will have to be abandoned rather soon, and the villagers move on and will drop another dungeon behind this woodline right there, I would expect, and that's exactly what Nessy is going for. I like the proactivity as always. Chupta trying for the quick wars here. Okay, let's see it. Yes, that's gonna work out. Nice job there. Don't get broken into though. That was a really nice quick wars. Clean and collected play. Issue being that villager cannot run away and will get taken out as soon as the dungeon goes up. So that's gonna be problems for the burger. Dungeon about to go up, and that's going to be another woodline denied of the Tatar player. Still 450 stone in store. And this map is really, I hadn't thought about this before, but really the thin woodlines and these golden stone all being so close together makes it very efficient to go for dungeon drops on this map. That's the second dungeon going up, and Chupta going to again have to abandon one of these woodlines here. Sooner or later, at least. And maybe could send in the scouts to try and take out the dungeon still, since there's no murder halls available just yet, of course. But for now, that's going to be an annoyance here, to say the least. Another dungeon seems to be coming out here rather forward. I'm not sure Chupta is going to allow this one to actually go through, but so far, Nessy doing a good job walling themselves in here, not allowing harassment onto those villagers. Maybe would have preferred this dungeon one tick further north, so to actually deny some of the woodline in the north as well, but that's just me being super picky about things. Alright, villager wars coming in. Chupta trying their best to deny this one, but it hasn't worked, and it's actually gone up. That's 3 dungeons on Chupta's economy, and it's all of our worst nightmares, guys. Everybody that's played 1v1 games against Sicilians knows how annoying this is. You're just looking for some free space to eco at, but they just won't have it. The idle TC times for both players getting a little bit high here, as Chupta tries to rush this dungeon down with the villagers, but that's lots of idle time, and the spearmen, now the sergeants also coming out, going to make it very difficult to actually take out the dungeon without any major losses. And it is going to fall, but it's going to take quite a while for the Tatars to free themselves from this grasp. And you can see the eco numbers now already quite a bit in Nessy's favor here, although the idle TC time is not looking too great. Oh man, it's a bit of a rough look on both sides, but of course, as long as you're causing damage to your opponent, it's not that bad if you yourself are taking some hits too. Actually repairing that dungeon is Nessy, and that's causing further idle time there for Chuptaburger, who's really struggling against those villagers, man. It just won't go down this dungeon, will it? All these woodlines remain denied. Archers now is a good addition here against the sergeants and villagers, who are still a bit tanky. No fletching yet for Chupta, but that is a good idea. Getting some archers out might be the answer. The sergeant's quite tanky though, with 2 pierce armor out of the gate. Quite tanky really, and Chupta has to abandon the siege. All the idle time and those villager deaths for naught. This early game surely would have gone very differently in Chupta's mind, ideally, but instead he's going to be dropped another dungeon here right on his face. He can already see it, so I wonder if there's going to be an adaptation, but I don't think he's actually just realized. And there it goes. It's already up again. These things are being constructed so very fast. And the sergeant's even managing to beat back the archers, although I think this is a little bit over aggressive. I'd rather just play around those dungeons, which the sergeants can actually help construct. There you go, see? Man, what a teamwork here. The military men, not too prideful to help with the construction duties of the simple man. We love to see it. This dungeon's going to go up too, isn't it? Oh, more villager deaths for Chuptaburger. This is looking real rough. It's not a huge eco gap just yet because of 5 minutes of idle town center time there for the Sicilians at home. But the farms are slowly supposed to fix that. And the dungeon has gone up again. Oh boy, Chupta. Are you going to be able to reverse sweep this series? Or is Nessy going to take it here in the decider? It's a real rough one. But our favorite here, our 3rd seed, our fans' favorite, so to speak, in the ever benevolent Chuptaburger, is seeming to struggle quite a bit here. The archers also dying, and those are resources that are tough to come by. That gold that you need for those archers is now being denied. The secondary gold also well within 2 dungeons' range. The third one as well, so really difficult at this stage for Chupta to actually get to any gold. Might have to try and sneak some villagers into the middle actually here in the long term, but I think has been found out by those spearmen. Decent idea to go on the counter-offensive, I reckon, but I wonder if that tower is going to have the same effect as those 4 dungeons in his own village. 5 dungeons, excuse me. You have to feel like this tower is probably just going to get taken out. I don't like this counter dungeon there. I don't think that is necessary, but sure, either way. Oh man, Chupta's going all out here on offense. There's another dungeon at home for the Sicilians, currently being housed, so that idle TC time really not looking all too pretty. But Chupta now maybe finding some more luck here on the offensive end of things, trying to rush down that building. But if we look at the top right corner, there's only 6 villagers currently working on eco for Chuptaburger. And don't tell me he's going to lose all these villages here. Oh, I don't think he's paying attention there, since there's so much stuff going on at home as well for the Tatars. Oh, this series is coming down to this very game, and tons of villagers are still dying for Chuptaburger. Oh, you hate to see it for the poor guy. He's got the tower up, maybe able to garrison some low HP villagers in there. He does. Good recognition there, but I don't think the dungeon is quite going to go down here. And that's ever more sergeants coming out on all angles here. See there, with all these dungeons Nessy is able to produce here. Surely, at some point, the eco is going to recover, and then it's going to be tough for Chupta to deal with this one. You can see down to 12 villagers now. You have to feel like this might actually be it here for the third seed of the bracket in Group J here, which is of course my bracket, and he just calls it here. Oh man, it was a real rough look here for Chuptaburger. Man, I congratulate him on getting out of this game, because honestly, man, you hate to play those out. I know it. I feel him so much. But that is going to be the tournament for him. Round 2 exit against Nessy, who is showing a great performance here as the 11th seed, and Chupta definitely doesn't need to be ashamed. Showed some good games as well. The Aztec game victory there. But overall, I thought Nessy was a deserving victor in this series. Could have potentially won all 3 games here with just some minor adjustments, I thought. And thus, no complaints there at all, and a very deserving 11th seed going forward in this tournament bracket to face off against Noob, if I'm not mistaken there. So that is it for this series. Thanks for joining me, guys. Again, this is a YouTube exclusive, so don't mind checking out my stream on Twitch TV. My name there is Hodrada_1066. I'll be casting lots more of these tournament games here, as well as in general some AOE2 and Civ 3 competitive gaming stuff. So if you're into that, it's definitely going to be the right place for you. Until then, thanks for joining me, everybody, and keep showing love to these guys in the Pick Your Poison tournament. They're doing an amazing job for all of us.